The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Police are searching for 3 suspects after a mass shooting here left 2 dead and 3 recovering at the hospital. We spoke with a neighbor who heard the gunshots.
And we got to enjoy some sunshine out there yesterday, but clouds are starting to roll back into the viewing area today. When could we see some light rain mixed in with that? We'll have your forecast in just a bit.
And later, setting you up for success through savings, stretching your dollar now to avoid headaches from emergencies. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Another mass shooting in the district, this time in Northeast. It happened last night just before 10. Police now telling DC News Now that they have confirmed a 5th victim in the shooting. DC News Now's Liberty Zabala is in Brentwood with what we're learning about the victims.
Well, we spoke with a man in this neighborhood who said when the gunshots started ringing out, he and his girlfriend hit the ground, and then his girlfriend started crying. And you can still see police in this neighborhood canvassing the area, speaking to possible witnesses. This is just another incident in a wave of violent shootings plaguing the district.
They hit me here where it came in, and I thought my radio was bitten by rats, but it's been shot. Well, just thank God I'm still here. That's all I can say. When they started shooting, me and my old lady hopped on the floor, and we stayed there. She was all nervous and crying and stuff. But I told her, look, just hold on. That's all we can do.
Metropolitan Police say the shooting happened just before 10 p.m. last night near 14th Street and Saratoga Avenue Northeast. When officers arrived on scene, they found 3 victims suffering from gunshot wounds. They say 2 men died at the scene. A 3rd was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers say 2 other males were able to rush themselves to the hospital. They suffered gunshot wounds as well. 1 victim is in critical condition. The other suffered non-life-threatening injuries. This mass shooting comes just moments after Acting Police Chief Pamela Smith spoke to the City Council about how she plans to keep the city safe as part of her nomination process. This shooting also adds to the district's grim milestone by surpassing more than 200 homicides so far this year. Now, we spoke with a spiritual leader here who is calling for a day of healing and prayer for this neighborhood.
When I hear that these young men are no more, it breaks my heart. We asking all the churches in Ward 5. We asking the mayor. We asking the new chief of police, all the officials to please come out and let us all pray together. Let us heal by healing.
Police right now say they are searching for 3 people seen leaving the scene in a gray SUV. They are also asking any neighbors who may have information or pictures or videos to please come forward. For now, in Northeast DC, Liberty Zabala, DC News Now.
Liberty, thank you. Meanwhile, police released the name of the Dunbar High School student shot and killed on Tuesday. 16-year-old Maurice Jackson approached a group of people when a suspect pulled out a gun and shot him. Police say it happened near New Jersey Avenue and P Street Northwest. People are worried about young people in the district.
This is so sad. I just like people should just stop murdering people, and especially teens and kids these days. My parents always tell me to watch my surroundings.
DC Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie visited the school to talk about safety with students and staff. But DC's acting police chief Pamela Smith is making her case to district leaders to keep her job permanently. She spent more than 25 years in law enforcement. In that time, she was chief of the U.S. Park Police and spent 2 years with MPD. Some wonder if she's ready for the position and pointing to continuing violence under her watch. But Smith says she's ready to take on the role for good.
I come to this position ready to work with members of the community and our partners in nonprofits, businesses, and government to help create a safer city for all that fulfills the promise and values of equity and inclusion.
And dozens of people testified, most in favor of her confirmation. Taking a live look at the National Cathedral, partly cloudy, but the sun is starting to creep through, or at least trying to. Meteorologist Damon Matson joins us with the latest check in the forecast. Damon, I know we can't go back in time, but I guess today will not be similar to yesterday.
No, it
A
looks
repeat.
like, yeah, not a repeat of
Okay.
last evening and late afternoon as well. It turned out very sunny on Wednesday, but unfortunately, folks, you saw behind the National Cathedral there, the clouds are starting to roll back in. Now, all in all, it's still feeling decent out there, a little cool for some of our western locations. In the 50s in Winchester and Kaiser, low 60s through Martinsburg and Cumberland. But as you go to the east, where there has still been some peaks of that sunshine, at least up until this hour, temperatures are starting to go toward the upper 60s, 67 degrees right now in D.C. Now, the satellite and radar picture still is relatively quiet, but we are beginning to see more clouds starting to roll back in, both from the east and also from the west. And that is going to limit the amount of sunshine we see through the rest of the day today. There's some of that cloud cover just off the Atlantic coastline where it is completely overcast. Again, that's nudging in toward the DMV. And then look off to our west. There's that next storm system that will eventually have some impact as far as precipitation chances go. Not just the cloud cover, but yes, we are looking at the chance for some soggy weather as we move forward into the late afternoon and early evening. It should stay relatively dry with more of those clouds over the next few hours, but as you get ready to potentially head home from work or school, or just go out to enjoy some Thursday evening plans, you might want to have the umbrella ready to go. Nothing significant, but light drizzle is likely to start falling again as we approach sunset and move into your Thursday night. So how long are we expecting this batch of light rainfall to stick around? And are we still going to see a warming trend with our temperatures heading into the weekend? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Montgomery County Police are looking for a man seen breaking into a Silver Spring business. Surveillance video shows him slipping through a shattered door at the Dragon City restaurant last Tuesday. Police believe that he threw a brick into the door so he could get in. The man is then seen carrying out cartons of what looks like drinks. He then leaves the same way he came in. And happening now, the trial for former Loudoun County Public Schools Superintendent continues. Scott Ziegler is in court this afternoon for the handling of sexual assault cases last year. Ziegler was fired in December over that investigation. He's accused of retaliating against a former special education teacher when she voiced that she and others were touched inappropriately by a student. Her name was then added to a list of contracts that would not be renewed. Ziegler is now facing another trial, which will take place in February, for a misdemeanor charge. Our Haley Milon is inside the courtroom, and she will have more on DC News Now at 4. The federal government will run out of money, and Congress doesn't have a funding plan. Right now, a lot of the holdup is on the House side. The Senate is working on a short-term funding bill that leaders seem confident will pass, but they need the House on board to avoid a shutdown before Saturday's deadline. This shutdown would have rippling effects, among them paychecks halted for millions of federal workers, 2 million active duty members working without pay, and many Americans who rely on the government for food and other necessities would not get them. And critical nutrition assistance programs like WIC, a nutrition assistance program designed to help women, infants, and children, would be affected. Sarah Steele, director of No Kid Hungry Virginia, says the loss of WIC benefits would be devastating.
We're talking about pregnant and postpartum mothers with infants or young children up to the age of 5, and it helps them with things like food and nutrition education and breastfeeding support and healthcare referrals.
Virginia Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine released a statement urging their colleagues to fund the government and protect millions of women, children, and Virginians who rely on WIC. They say that this can be done by passing a bipartisan bill as soon as possible. And as the deadline nears, trouble is brewing for the craft beer business. DC News Now's Max Marcilla is in Silver Spring and shares how a government shutdown is spilling into local breweries.
We know the impacts the potential government shutdown could have on many workers here in the DMV. We also know it could impact where they would go after that work shift, like this brewery here in Silver Spring. Now, this brewery is set to open its second location in Virginia in the coming days, and the shutdown could even impact that new operation.
There's always anxiety when you're opening up a new location for any business. This just compounds that.
What looks like a busy Wednesday night at this Silver Spring brewery is at least behind the scenes anxiety-provoking, because in a matter of days, the federal government could shut down and its impact would reach the tap.
The worst case scenario is this goes on for the foreseeable future and we're only able to sell the few products that we now have in hand.
Chris Bonnell is the marketing director here at Silver Branch Brewing, now in Silver Spring, but soon in Warrenton, Virginia. But next week's grand opening could look a little different, and here's why. Bonnell says the government has a consumer protection role in interstate commerce and has to make sure a beer's label is accurate, from the style and name to the amount of alcohol and government warnings. They have to be submitted to the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, the TTB, but approvals are stopped if government funding is ended.
Our whole brand is offering a large diversity of beers and beer styles, and so this definitely will narrow us down for the foreseeable future until this is all cleared up.
Ideally, that won't be too long. Bonnell says he has a partnership with NOAA to release a product next month, and that too could be put on pause. In the meantime, he's hoping for an agreement, and if a shutdown does happen, that this will be a place for government workers to gather together, drink, and wait. In Silver Spring, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
All right, Max, thank you. Washington Commanders facing another lawsuit. The Native American Guardians Association accuses the team of defamation and conspiracy when they changed their name. The team dropped their previous name back in 2020 when they were owned by Dan Snyder. Now the Native American organization says its members were fans of the Redskins because they were the only team in the league to, quote, honor an actual Native American. The suit claims that current owner Josh Harris and the National Congress of American Indians worked to attack the integrity of Native American Guardians Association.
And setting you up for success through saving, stretching your dollar now to avoid headaches from emergencies.